What's up, chefs? Welcome back to the kitchen. We've got a very exciting episode for you today. We've had a fun five or so weeks doing this podcast. So we thought we'd take a break from the Written by You series and just kind of let you get to know us a little bit better. And we've told these stories so many times, but essentially what we're going to do this week and next week, it's kind of a two-part episode here. We're going to dive into Nate's personal life and exploit all of his weaknesses.
Oh, wait, you didn't say that.
But today's episode is going to be Nate's story, how he got started in filmmaking, his journey, which has spanned since 2013 is when I think the start of it was. Yeah. I guess 2002, technically.
That's the first, yeah.
And then next week we'll talk about my story and full-time filmmaker and both of our lives and how it's played a role. But I'm going to interview Nate today as our sous chef in the kitchen, and we're just going to let him tell his story of everything he's learned and done in his life in regards to this career he's now on. But you guys, again, all links are below if you want to give Nate and I a follow, if you want to give Romy Vows a follow, if you want to check out our educational material, if you want to submit stories for this podcast, we'll put all the links below. Whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple, there should be links below. But without further ado, let's cook.
Living in a daydream, ooh, such a sweet thing. Life on the big screen, it's such a beautiful scene, yeah.
Good morning, Nathan.
Good morning, Jacob.
Checking your mic there.
Yeah.
Guys, it is raining in the studio today, so it's a little bit of a vibe.
Yeah, feels great.
You might hear
sound
some
a little weird.
pitter-patter.
A little
Yeah, a little something.
Yeah.
How was your weekend?
What day is it? Tuesday. Is it Wednesday? Did you say Wednesday?
Today's not Wednesday.
Today's Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Weekend. Weekend was good. I started moving into a new place.
Yeah.
So I had a buddy who had a big trailer. We just tossed it in like half hour, and it's a mess right now. But yeah, it was just kind of like moving.
I offered a billion times to come help.
Here's the thing: is I knew
a billion times.
I knew everyone's like same with our siblings. Like, everyone's been bringing it up, but we just don't have a lot of stuff. And my buddy, he has this landscape company, and he had a huge trailer, and we're only going to use him for the couch. And we threw in the couch, and he's like, "What else do you want to throw in here?" And so while he was there, we were like, "Oh, crap!"
Sounds like you and this buddy are pretty close.
Start throwing them in. Yeah, we are pretty close. I know that doesn't bode well.
Cool.
But yeah, no, weekend went well.
New place though.
Good weekend of college football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the first game was last night.
First game of what?
Football.
No.
Tonight?
What? No, college football's been going for like weeks.
Was it the NFL that starts tonight?
No. They've both been going for a while. I think college football's
What
like week
started
7.
tonight or last night? What starts tonight?
I don't know.
Playoffs? Something. Oh, well.
I don't know. You're the big baseball guy here.
I'm not a fan. I don't sport.
No, solid weekend.
Nice.
I don't remember what else I did. I think I did something else, but what about you? What'd you do?
We had a weekend off, and so Kenzie and I literally just stayed inside, and it felt great.
Cloud movie
Yeah,
nights?
we slept on the couch, watched movies. I think on Saturday and Sunday I woke up at noon.
That's
It was
great.
wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Saturday, I don't mind doing it on Sundays, but on Saturdays, I feel like I've wasted my day.
Yeah.
But then I packed a ton into Saturday. It was like from noon to 6, got so much done.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
now daylight savings, it's like dark by 5, and so I felt like I had a full day in 5 hours.
Yeah. Daylight savings kind
hate
of throws
'em.
you off.
Stupid. Winter, stupid.
I like the extra hour of sleep, but everything else I don't like. Well,
Yeah, but we wouldn't. Yeah.
for the first night, it's nice. After that, it's kind of
Yeah, but you wouldn't know there's an extra hour of sleep just if it never happened in the first
Right.
place.
Right.
Arizona's a good example.
Arizona doesn't do daylight
Don't.
savings, huh?
Only state in the mainland, at least.
The mainland,
The mainland. Anyway.
the U.S. Yeah, when daylight savings goes forward, that's when it
Yeah.
really throws me off.
Yep.
Kills me.
Spring forward, fall back, huh?
Oh, I have a surprise
Okay.
for us.
I'm sweaty.
This is a surprise for us. It's in my backpack. Hang on. I'll be right back.
For our audio listeners, Nate is giving me a gift. It's actually probably a Romy Vows thing. I'll narrate it for those who are listening via audio. He's pulling something out of his bag. It's blue. It's packaged. He's hiding it.
So I purchased this. I purchased this last night on our company debit card. It's going to put us under. Take years to recover from this. But
You purchased it last night and it's here already?
I purchased it in person.
Oh,
Yeah.
at the sandwich shop.
It's nothing but, yes, from Caputo's.
Okay.
Because it's a cheese, chocolate.
Welcome to the kitchen.
Delicatessen.
Delicacy.
So I bought some 85% dark chocolate from Madagascar. Some
Madagascar chocolate.
Some Madagascaran.
Bring me my nuts on a
Madagascan?
silver platter.
Is it Madagascan?
No, it's Madagascarian.
Madagascan. So this is
Madagascan.
85%
Wow.
Merzam. But I also got some 90% that I also indulged in from Pump Street, Jamaican.
My dad always said dark chocolate's for men, milk chocolate's for boys.
It's the adult chocolate.
Yeah.
Adult chocolate.
I
So
still like milk chocolate.
same. Yeah, good Hershey's. Why
Sure.
not on s'mores? So I figured why not take a bite?
Sure.
See how you like it.
Let's taste test
Okay,
this.
let me open this
Before
sucker
we
up.
dive into Nate's villain arc.
Yeah. Oh, should I get like?
Yeah, get the ASMR. Yeah.
Oh, that's bumped the mic. Knock it all over. Very nice packaging, I gotta say.
Yeah. Very nice. I feel like I'm on Willy Wonka.
I was about to say this looks like the golden ticket. Oh wow,
I love grapes.
Jacob, you gotta see this detail. Here, hold. Just look at that.
Wow.
I wonder if the pieces break off in that pattern.
No chance, right?
Flip
Are we
it
trying
over.
this now?
Yeah, try it. Try it. Don't like eat into the mic, you know.
They
but,
don't.
like,
Yeah.
just- Wow, they really do break into those. They
I'll
break
eat it like Charlie's dad in Willy Wonka. He like bites it like this. Not half bad.
Not very good.
Bitter. Sensational.
Sensational. That's nice. Okay, now hang on.
Wow.
Hang on. I'm gonna give you some 90% here.
Definitely a business expense because it was just used for business
It
purposes.
was different. Yeah, there's the only way we could write it off.
Our accountant's like, why'd you
Okay.
buy chocolate? It was for the podcast.
Our accountant sees this. Wait,
It was a prop.
90%.
See, I don't feel like I'm going to like this.
I think you like it. It's not as bitter as like Lint. Lint's crap.
It's intense.
I don't know if the lady just sold me, but she's like, yeah, it's like fermented cocoa bean.
It is
look
fermented.
Look at the
'cause
packaging.
The Madagascar one
The Madagascan.
is more sweet.
But do they ferment all
This
dark
is
chocolate
definitely
beans?
more bitter. I don't know. How about to become a chocolatier to learn how to make chocolate?
I don't know, but shameless
Interesting.
plug. Pump Street or Mirzam Chocolate Makers
This
sponsor us.
episode is sponsored by Madagascar Chocolates.
But yeah, I hope you guys all enjoyed listening to us chewing.
Speaking of Madagascar, I was just thinking of my favorite line from Madagascar. It's Madagascar 2, when the plane crashes, and they go, Kowalski, casualty report. Only 3 passengers unaccounted for, skipper. And he goes, that's a number I can live with. Who says a penguin can't fly?
I'll start slapping hands. That's a number I can live with.
Anyways, well, thanks for the chocolate.
Yeah, just a little.
That was delicious.
Yeah, I think I like the 85% better.
Which
I
one's
don't
that?
know. I like
The
the
darker one?
the blue package was the 85%.
I like the blue. I'm a sweet guy, though.
I do like the 90%.
My
though.
dad would like the 90%.
See, when I get like a 90% dark chocolate, like Lindt bar from the
Yeah.
grocery store, it's garbage. It's
Palate cleanser for sure.
yeah. I feel like I could just eat that though.
Sure.
I really liked that.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Every week we'll have a little chocolate testing.
Why not?
You're looking for the camera. This one, Nathan. You guys, we are excited for today's episode. We're going to take a break from the Written by You series for a second, and we're going to interview Nathan. Woohoo. Our guest, our first guest on the podcast
The first Sue.
is Nathan himself. We just kind of thought, let's talk about our stories. I feel like we've told our stories respectively to everybody on everyone else's podcast. And I was like, well, we should have it on our podcast, our content.
Right.
So we're going to do 2 episodes this week and next week. This week we're going to interview Nate. talk about his story with filmmaking and what led him to Runaway Vows. And then next week we'll talk about my journey and my story with filmmaking, with full-time filmmaker, my beginnings, quitting, all of it, struggles, and yeah, should be an interesting episode. Because I don't even know if I've really sat down with you and heard your full story. Like
How I got into
I know like we have similar beginnings, but we've watched some of your first work. Maybe we will link one of your very first videos in below, like one of your high school videos.
Way back in the archives.
So I'm gonna let Nate talk. This is gonna be Nate's moment here, but I'm just gonna jump in, ask questions, judge him, critique,
Like always.
Some detective work. Make sure he's telling the truth, and take it away, Nate.
Well,
Take it
sometimes the
away,
best way to
dude.
tell a story is start at the end and then come back.
Wow, emotional.
Just kidding. No, it's from the
He's
other
a
guys.
poet. Oh,
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, Jacob.
aim for the bushes. Yeah.
Well, wow, where do I start? I guess the
Hold on.
first.
Get comfortable here.
Yeah, get comfortable.
I'll show my leg. Okay. I'm sure I'm munch on chocolate while you talk.
Bite now. That's good.
Yeah, go for it.
I guess the first recollection I'm guessing we're talking strictly how I got into video. We're not talking just my life's work, but maybe intertwined.
That would be a great future episode.
I was born in 1996.
Gosh, no. Let's
Goodly parents.
Let's keep it a video.
Okay, well, I'd say that
When did you first pick up a camera?
my first memory of having a camera was the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City. I was 6 years old.
I was gonna say, how old were you?
I was 6 years old.
Okay, wow.
It was the 2002 Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City, and I don't even know if this camera worked. I want to say it did, but I remember it was about the size of like a Tic Tac box, just tiny. Okay,
2002.
2002. Okay, but no. It just took pictures. It didn't take video.
Oh, okay.
And I was obsessed with this thing. And it had a little pop-up for the viewfinder, and you could kind of like look through it, and it was a little magnifying glass. And I remember walking around with that thing and just taking pictures. And I want to say, like, yeah, I could plug it into a computer and export things out, and it was so cool to me. And it was just my little pocket camera. That's the first memory I have. In fact, the first memory I have of taking a picture, I took a picture of the TV screen in my parents' kitchen of the Winter Olympics. There was the skiing half pipe. I remember just like pointing and going chink. Yeah. And I was like, man, that was cool. And then kind of throughout elementary school, middle school, I always had like this interest in DSLR cameras. I thought they just looked really cool, but I didn't do anything with them. I never really had the passion. And this is how I got into videography. The first video I made, it was making fun of somebody.
A bully.
Exactly. All in good
This is his
faith.
villain arc.
I was making fun.
Bullying in good faith. Is an
Bullying in
interesting
good
phrase.
faith.
Was it Landon?
Should have been Landon.
It should have been Landon.
Yeah. No, it was junior year of high school.
So
Our
you
friend
were
group,
15, 16?
15, 16, yeah, 15, 16. Our friend group, we were friends with this group of girls, and this girl at our school, she was the head cheerleader, okay? We were really good friends with her. So that's why I
like
say,
where this is going.
that's why I say, like, yeah, we were making fun of her, but it was all kind of in good faith because she saw it and, like, laughed at it.
Okay.
But her name was Lexi, head cheerleader, and she made this video, and it was hilarious. She made this video walking around.
Intentionally hilarious?
It was intentionally meant to be, like, kind of satire.
Okay.
And she walked around with a mic, and she just went around and asked people, do you think cheerleading is a real sport?
Oh, no.
Okay. And so she got a whole bunch
question.
of answers. She got a whole bunch of answers. And people were like, nah.
What's your answer, first of all?
Well, my video will explain my answer. So I'll get into that. I thought this was buried behind me, but I guess not. She walked around with the mic, and she asked all these people. She got a plethora of responses.
Yeah.
Yes, some no. But the overwhelming was like no. It's like the first 40-something seconds
Surprises me.
was just like everyone like, nah, cheerleading's stupid. You just show up and wave your arm. Like just really just.
Have you ever seen a cheerleader get tossed in the air and caught?
Yeah, no, they were just degrading cheerleading 100%. And she's the head cheerleader. So I think you see where this video is going. it was just a compilation of people saying no, and then all of a sudden like the beat dropped, and it was playing Eminem, the "Till I Collapse, I'm spilling this," so it started going hard, and they're just like doing all their flips and stuff.
Oh, nice.
And so it was just like showing off cheerleading, and then it was like cheerleading's a sport.
Yeah.
And we watched it, and we're like, we got to make
You're
something.
like, no, it's not.
We're like, we got it.
Nate doesn't believe cheerleading's a sport.
We just got to make something. And it's not even that I don't believe cheerleading's a sport. I do believe cheerleading is a sport, for the record.
You saw an opportunity.
Yeah, saw an opportunity. I remember exactly where we were. Me and my buddy Rocky, we were in this, like, I think it was called, like, family relations class, basically like a sex ed class.
Classic.
And
Appropriate.
our teacher just didn't do anything, and we all just kind of like walked around all the time. So we watched it in class. We're like, we got to
Nate
make.
still doesn't know how babies are made. This camera.
Please let me know. I know. I just like. And so in that moment, we watched it and we're like, we got to make something.
Yeah.
This is going to be hilarious. So, looking back, it was a really stupid idea. We're like, we're going to make a video called "Is Call of Duty a Sport?"
Topical.
It was hilarious in our minds then. And we didn't even play a lot of Call of Duty. We played Super Smash Bros. But we're like, let's do Call of Duty.
We dabbled in Super Smash Bros.
Religiously played Super Smash Bros. So like basically what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to walk around with the mic. It's obviously just supposed to be like funny. People are just going to be, sarcastic. Is Call of Duty a sport? And we went and interviewed all of the cheerleaders. That was the funny part. So this was after her video had gone viral in the school. We walked up to all the cheerleaders like, hey, is Call of Duty a sport? And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, get out of here. And they all got way mad. And then we would walk up to people and be like, hey, like, we'll pay you like $1. We'll buy you like a Wendy's 5 for 5 or whatever if you just say Call of Duty is a sport and get super hyped on camera. And so we just started asking people like,
Driving the narrative.
Hey, roll the camera. Yeah, basically controlling the narrative. Roll the camera. Hey, is Call of Duty a sport? And people were just like, yeah, like freaking out. Like, of course, man. Like, dedication, talent, hours. And so we made it, almost shot for shot hers, but it was just very blatantly, like, over the top dramatic, like us crying, us like acting like we've been made fun of and oppressed for a long time. And then the beat dropped and we were just like hardcore gaming. The funniest moment was we faked a shot where my buddy Chase was playing Call of Duty and he had his phone next to him, and we're sophomores. I think were we sophomores, or I think we were juniors. And we faked a shot where we had the contact for my phone, but we put the image for mine as the hottest girl at the school, who was a senior, Janessa Fabrizio, that everyone was obsessed about. And we put my image as her. So we decided, okay, Chase, play the game. I'm going to call you. Let's point the camera down at it, and you're going to decline the call and keep playing Call of Duty. So that was like probably the favorite shot. Everyone was just like, this is hilarious.
Poor Janessa.
This music's going way hard. He's gaming. He gets a call from Janessa, and he turns it down and keeps playing. Janessa loved it, by the way. Which, by the way, Janessa, full story, full circle, Janessa is
Now
the
married that guy.
is the bride of the video that I helped Parker shoot. The famous I'm shaking the branch. That's Janessa.
Beautiful couple.
Yeah, gorgeous couple.
Yeah.
So that was her that
No
Chase
way.
turned down. Yeah, everything comes full circle. So that
was Chase.
That was oddly enough that
would've
guy's
been
name
crazy.
is Chase.
That's crazy.
So that was the first video
Wow.
we made.
And you said, I'm going to do this as a career.
And it went huge. Like
Yeah.
this is when like Facebook wasn't like popular, but like I shared it on my profile and it got like 500 likes and like hundreds of comments. Like between schools in the area, it was Alta, Jordan, like all these high school people were pitching in. It was kind of like the first taste of virality.
Yeah. Wow. So let's take a break from your story for a second and just a little discussion question for you and our viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Is Call of Duty a sport?
I think
Because now
we prophesied it.
Because technically now,
Yeah, everyone
it's an
laughed at us.
e-sport.
Yeah, everyone laughed at us. We kind of laughed at ourselves, but look at where it is now. It's a sport,
highly competitive.
very highly competitive, pays very well.
Most
to win.
gaming is.
Yeah, so I think it could be very easily argued.
And
that
people
it's
would
a
say
sport.
no, but then they'll say chess players are a sport. I would argue
I would say
video games are harder than chess. competitively.
Really? That?
'Cause I think chess is like definitely like a smart. It's like a math game. You know, but it's like you're playing public Sudoku. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a.
I mean, what about
It's
like
like-
grandmasters in
Yeah,
chess?
no,
do
it's
you know?
genius.
Like chess.
But I'm like, if chess is a sport, then gaming has to be a sport.
It's true. Yeah, I agree. On that. Yeah, absolutely.
that level.
On that premise.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If chess is a sport, I think
and
gaming
if
is a
chess
sport.
is a sport, then cheerleading is 1,000,000,000% a
Oh
sport.
yeah, and that was we were making fun of it, but cheerleading's a sport, and it was so
No, that's
funny
pretty
seeing
funny, though.
everyone get just rallied up. But yeah, that was kind of like the first taste of like being viral.
Yeah.
because it was on Facebook
Yeah.
and all these people were pitching in, and then after that, I think me and my buddies we just
Dude,
got like
sophomore, junior year Facebook prime.
prime time, just unhinged.
Like pages, become a fan. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Prime.
Oh yeah. And so after that, we kind of just like got this taste of like, hey, we made funny videos. Let's keep doing it. And after that, keep in mind this is the junior year. We started making something called Kaponk, which you've seen. It's like where you set a cup in a random spot and you bounce a ping pong ball and try to make it.
We all
in.
did it.
All did it.
Trick shots.
Yeah, we did trick shots with ping pong balls, and we made a series.
My first 2 videos were
Really?
ping pong videos.
Really?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, it was a Lego stop motion video. I'll talk about it next week, and a ping pong trick
Really?
shot videos. Yeah.
Wow. We've never talked about this.
No, we're all the same.
Wow, all the same.
We'll link those videos below, guys.
If I can find them, I think
Yeah,
they're
you
on
should find
Facebook.
it.
I think I'll try to find them. But yeah, we called it Kaponk, and we made a whole series out of it. Super dramatic too, like
Yeah.
story. It was hilarious, super moody. And again, those just went huge,
Yeah.
and we started getting the whole school involved and like getting people like fake shots in the hallways and stuff like that, and it went really big. And to the point where I realized like, hey, I think I'm like kind of good at making videos
Yeah.
and like just making like funny stuff.
Yeah.
And it set me up to run for senior SBO, right? A class officer at our school for senior year. So I used that momentum to run for SBO officer, I guess SBO. And I used that momentum to do my campaign, and I got elected as the audio visual officer for Alta at my
Which is a
senior
big
year.
deal.
Which is a huge deal. Yeah.
We didn't really have that in our high
No,
school.
we
so.
took it very serious, very
Yeah, I can
serious. So it was only the second year that this role had been, I guess, created. The guy a year ahead of me, his name was Blake Thomas. He was making like, he called it the Alta Avengers. That was the name of my high school, was Alta, and he was doing like Adobe After Effects. Like every SBO officer had like an Avenger role. Like he was CGIing someone as the Hulk, someone as like Iron Man. He went hard.
That's crazy.
And then I had it the next year, and then Landon.
Don't know After Effects.
And then I didn't. I still don't. And then Landon, by the way, had it the year after me, and it's kind of like this row.
Student became the teacher.
Yeah, Landon. I'm working out of his place now.
Everything Landon knows came from his apprenticeship to Nate.
Little known fact here. Funny story about that I'll probably talk about later. But if you go forward a couple years, Parker Walbeck went to Alta, and he did the videos at Alta too.
Man.
So it's like this: Parker, Nate, Jake, or sorry, not Jake, but like Landon.
Not
You
a
should have
hawk.
went to Alta. But like even the people after Landon too, like they're all very successful, like like filmmakers.
Wow.
And so it was just kind of like this cool thing that happened.
That's crazy. Hawks fly together.
Hawks fly together. Yeah.
I was a wildcat. Get your head in the game.
Gotta get your head in the game.
Yeah.
So that was how I started. Yeah.
Wow.
And then in my senior year,
Just doing high school stuff then.
yeah, just doing high school stuff.
I've seen some of those.
Yeah.
You just like a Mission Impossible,
Did, like-
Smash Bros.
Yeah. We did. It was
Mystery
called
murder.
Hawk Protocol.
Yeah.
So that was like the welcoming video. We all had
Landon
a
dies
character.
in that video.
Landon kills me.
He kills you.
Right. Because that was at the end of the year when we had to do our inauguration, and he was the next officer.
That's right.
So I was
Passing
Ash.
the torch.
I was Ash from Pokemon, and I fought Landon, and he killed me. Technically, I never died. I got captured in the Pokeball.
True.
There's 2 of us
Still
still,
there.
still alive.
We should
from
remake that
all
video.
the 9 SBOs.
10-year reunion.
10 year, which is
coming up.
next year. Yeah, next year. So that's how I got started.
Wow.
And yeah, I was. If people are wondering how I kind of got in with Parker, it's that. Like I grew up.
Because similar circles,
Yeah.
friends. Your brothers are the same age?
Yeah. My brother is the same age as Parker. We're family friends. My brother grew up playing the same sports as Parker. My dad was the coach. So Parker and my brother Sam are really good friends. And I was always the bat boy. I was the ball boy. I was at every game. So I knew Parker from 5, 6, 7 years old, and I grew up with him. So in high school, when he saw that I was doing video, on occasion during my senior year, I would go help him shoot stuff while he was doing it with Devin Supertramp. So that was kind of like the first big gig I had, was shooting
Man, I haven't
the
heard that name in a while, I feel like.
yeah, Devin Supertramp.
Yeah.
He's kind of popping off lately.
Yeah.
Did you see his reels?
Found his groove, yeah.
Yeah, he started reposting stuff that he filmed like 5 years ago, and it's got like 40 million views on Instagram.
Yeah.
So he's just posting again. He's picking up. But yeah, that was probably like my first big gig. Is
working
when
for Devin.
Parker hired me to.
Because Parker's likes the younger guys anyway.
He does. He does.
He
yeah.
identifies with the children.
He does.
I feel like he always had friends that were like our age
Yeah.
versus his age.
He always has had like younger,
He can control us.
or maybe he just loves being a mentor.
He does.
Yeah, he probably.
He's good at it.
Yeah.
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 That's what it is.
Yeah, he's grateful. Yeah, super grateful for him. But yeah, that was the first big gig that I was really nervous for. I helped him shoot the Color Festival in Spanish Fork.
Is that the one we got left on the mountaintop?
I got left on the mountaintop with Devin Supertramp with a snowmobile, and it shut down. We had to figure out a way to. Yeah.
So was it seeing? Okay, so that was fresh out of high school or during high school, your senior year?
During high school, senior year. Yeah, we were on spring break in St. George, and Parker said, classic Parker fashion, "Hey, I'm shooting a video for Devin Supertramp tomorrow at 8 a.m. Can you be here and like help me get some shots?" And I'm 4 hours away, and it's like 11 p.m. And so I told my buddies like, "Hey, I gotta drive back." And so we drove back at 2 o'clock, got back at 6 a.m. I got my camera and I went and helped Parker shoot this Color Festival thing
crazy.
in Spanish Fork. I learned a lot. And looking at my shots, like he used one of my shots and it was absolutely terrible, but he still used it just to be nice. And I think
Yeah.
kind of take me under his wing
Sure.
and be like, "You made it,
You
buddy."
can do this, pal.
Yeah. So that was the intro. That was the intro.
Yeah. Okay, so then what next? Graduated high school.
Graduated high school. I went on
Top of his class.
top of the class, 4.0 student over here, baby.
really?
I think I was like a 397.
I was like a 3.1.
That A minus, man.
Maybe.
After high school, I went on a 2-year church mission to Bolivia.
Good old Bolivia.
Didn't even think about a camera.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I kind of did. I had like little point and shoots.
Well, the whole point was to kind of forget and
Yeah.
serve.
Yeah. So like I still did have a camera, and we made like a funny video, maybe a couple funny videos while we were there, but yeah, I didn't really think about it. Didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
In my mind, it was just
time.
yeah. I didn't really.
Yeah.
I kind of had moved on. I just thought it was kind of like
Yeah.
a fun phase.
Well, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in high school, like the video stuff, it does just like a hobby, like an outlet.
Absolutely, yeah.
Never in my life thought it could be a career. And
Yeah.
even seeing Parker do it, you're like, yeah, like I don't know. You just don't think about like,
Right.
yeah, I'll do that.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, and it was a different dynamic back then too. The YouTube
it
game.
was. It wasn't like as. I felt the people who were making it was at the top 1%. Like
Yeah.
it's like very rare.
Yeah.
And now everyone can do it. but
Everyone kind of wants to do it in some
yeah,
way.
Everyone is doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm with you. I feel like the church mission was kind of like, yeah, like that was fun. Gonna go on this mission, and then I'm gonna come home and do something like corporate.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. In my mind, it was just a fun thing. I'm gonna go on this 2-year church mission, kind of like reset.
Yeah. How was the mission?
Life changing. Like it's something that you can't really teach. It's 2 years of just working as hard as you can,
Yeah.
serving other people, and you just don't really, you can't replace that. You know, you
And
just really
explain
can't.
Bolivia in a word or a sentence or
It's hard to do it in one sentence.
because I've asked you about Bolivia and you're like, I would never go back.
I wouldn't, but at the same time, like
Why
the
is that?
fondest memories I have are in Bolivia. It's the poorest country in South America. It's the only landlocked country. And so I spent 2 years just like teaching people that just like were making $2 a day, $3 a day. And I feel bad, but it teaches you, I don't know, I learned a lot, but like I still feel guilty sometimes. For example, my wife and I, we just bought a king mattress because we couldn't sleep
Wow.
on a queen mattress
recently
recently.
for the new place.
For the new place, right? I feel bad because my wife and I, we couldn't sleep on a queen mattress. We're just baby whining every night, like I didn't get a good sleep, this and
Kayla
that.
sleeps like an abnormal.
She
human,
sleeps in like a piked position, and I kind of like, we weren't sleeping.
though. Not a good duo.
No, not a good duo for sleeping. And so we bought a king. And
I
multiple,
sleep like a pencil.
which
We
I-
would
I
sleep
wish-
well together.
We do sleep
listening,
good.
Caleb.
But yeah, like multiple times through the decision process of which mattress to get, I was like, do we really need this? Like,
Because you're thinking about the Bolivia kids.
I'm thinking of the times where I was in Bolivia and I visited a full family of 6 people under a tarp with 4 bamboo sticks, maybe like half the size of this stage we're sitting on, and they're sleeping a family of 6 on like a full-size mattress, all of them. And so I had like this guilt of like, do we really need a king? Like, this is kind of ridiculous. So you learn a lot of things that you just can't replace. And I'm sure a lot of people who have done like volunteer work, you know, you experience similar lessons, but to be in the culture for 2 years, you just can't replace it.
Man, it's wild.
So yeah, it was just kind of like a huge reset for sure. Came back from the mission. And
just so people like are aware of how these church missions work, like you unplug for 2 years.
Yeah.
So especially back then, it's a little bit different now, but in our church, like you don't email, call home. You talk to your mom twice a year,
face to
Mother's
face,
Day and Christmas on a Skype call twice a year. And then other than that, you get to send out 1 email a week to your family.
Right.
But you don't like read emails throughout the week. You don't take calls. You can't text. Like you're not on Facebook, you're not on Instagram. Like you're fully committed to just helping and serving the community you're assigned to.
Yep. Exactly. So
and then you're not even thinking like, at least you're not supposed to be thinking about like what you're gonna be doing when you get home.
No.
So you're just all in for 2 years, and then 2 years are up. It's like, okay, now go home and get back to life. You're like, well, what do I want to do?
It really is like the greatest 2 years.
Yeah.
Some of the hardest 2 years.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about yourself, but you learn a whole lot. You don't see your family. I don't know about you. Like when you were on your mission, did you kind of feel this disconnect from your family? Like there were multiple times where I'm like, who's this group of people? They just kind of have like a face. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it was the first few months. And I was actually just talking to Tanner, my brother-in-law, about this. He just got home from his mission, but the first 2 months you're kind of like see you guys. I'm so excited to be on my own. You know, first time you're on your own, and then after a few months you're kind of like the hype wears off and you're thinking about them, but then you find your groove in serving other people and losing yourself, and then when they do email you, you're like, you just I don't know, I didn't care. And then about a year in, I was like, I don't want to read those emails anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about what they're doing at home.
Yeah.
I want to be all in.
Yeah.
In my last 6 months, I didn't even do Zoom calls. I was like, I just want to go hard and not even think about my family for 6 months.
It's a weird disconnect.
It is
obviously your it's your family and you love them.
Yeah.
But you've gone so long without seeing them, not thinking about them, that every time they write you, it's like
healthy though.
When you think about it too hard, you're like, this is just a person.
Yeah.
But no, they're my family. You know.
I think one thing our generation's missing.
Yeah.
This might be a different take, but I think our parents' generations, like the men just went off to war, kind of grew up, and I feel like it was a lot more acceptable. Just like once you're 18, you just leave the house to go to college or somewhere, learn to live on your own. And I feel like now there's not that pressure to do that.
Right.
But so I'm so grateful because I felt those 2 years, even though I was still a child when I got back.
Oh, absolutely.
20 years old, I got
absolutely.
home. But I tasted independence, and I tasted like the life I wanted to live. And being in strangers' homes, you see a lot of good and a lot of bad, especially in poverty.
Yeah.
And I was like, I learned what type of a man, not just that I wanted to be, what type of man I did not want to be from what I was seeing in the world. And I think every individual needs to go through that.
Something similar.
Needs to go off on your own, needs to taste independence, needs to feel the pressures of managing your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people don't ever get that truly.
Yeah.
So it was life-changing.
100%. Yeah. Being a different culture, different language, different foods, different everything. It's just throws you out of the
stomach
bubble.
in Bolivia?
Iron.
Surprises me.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
Iron stomach.
It's because you only eat like a few things there.
No, yeah, they don't use any seasoning, so it's literally
cashews.
just like rice. Although one of their famous dishes is literally peanut soup. It's called sopa de maní.
Couldn't eat that.
I couldn't eat it, but apparently it was famous and
Soft
everyone
stomach.
loved it. 8 weird things though is no seasonings, just rice, bland chicken, but they utilize every part of the cow, every part of the chicken. So I'd have soups with just like random bones in there. And one time I had a soup that was cow knee soup, just a big bowl and the broths are all pretty similar, just like
Tough
rice.
meat, I'm sure.
Just some rice, like some blanched potatoes,
It's disgusting.
and like some light chickenish broth sort
But
of
you
thing.
eat it, you know?
But a massive, massive knee in the soup, and there's not a lot of meat on there. If you were to shave it off, it'd probably be like a tablespoon.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's a weird
Just
way to
for
measure
flavor,
meat.
yeah.
And then the rest of it is just like cartilage in between the joints. And that's what they eat. They kind of just like snap it open and bite it, and it's all crunchy, and it wasn't my vibe. But we ate a lot
you
of
eat
weird
it.
stuff.
You
But
have
you
to
eat
eat
it.
it.
Yeah, you eat it because you're grateful because they're feeding you. But yeah, all this to say that the mission was absolutely incredible. And I think both of us can look back and say that the 2-year mission, a lot of what we've been able to do in life, a lot of the perspectives we have in life, all kind of go back to what we learned in one way or another
100%.
from the mission.
It unlocks a lot of potential.
It does.
Or goals that you think.
It does.
And pushes you in a way like, I didn't know I could do this.
Yeah. Yeah,
know?
exactly. Work ethic is a huge thing
Yeah.
on the mission. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming back from the mission, I went to BYU. I enrolled there, and I had no idea what I was going to be doing. My whole life, I've kind of just followed the footsteps of my older brother. I love my older brother. I love my older sister, but my older brother is like my role model. We're very similar,
Yeah.
and I do basically
You
everything
guys
that
look
he does.
identical.
That's what I hear. I
When
don't
I
see
met
it.
him, I was like, oh, you're a Teahan. You are Nate Teahan's twin.
Yeah, he's. I'm a little jealous. He got
He got the height on
he
you.
got the height. He got the 6-foot gene.
Yeah.
I'm a little mad about that.
Yeah.
But regardless, here I am.
No offense, Sam, but
No
I think
offense, Sam,
Nate's
but-
hotter.
I want. No, regardless, he got the height gene. But he was a computer scientist. So that was his degree in computer science. I like all the things he likes, so I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna do computer science. And he enrolled me in kind of that major while I was finishing up on my mission, because again, I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, like just start taking some of these classes, see how you like it. So I get back from my mission in June, start up in August. 2016, end of June. I start college in August, and man, that first semester was wild. Like highs and lows like I've never experienced. Like I was so in the dumps. I was just depressed. Like
Why is that?
I don't know. It was just such a drastic change going from, I guess, the mission to college to like
It's not about you for 2 years, and all of a sudden everything's about you.
everything's about you, but also just like if we were to take the mission out of the equation, I think high school does such a bad job at preparing people for
get me
college.
started.
I think it does a terrible job. Whether you agree college is for everyone, it doesn't matter. If you do go to college, you'll notice that your high school did nothing to prepare you for it. They didn't teach you that you're only going to have 2 hours of classes a day and then 10 hours of studying and homework on your own. So it was just like this huge shift. And I just experienced, I say during my mission, I had some anxiety and some depression, like most missionaries.
Yeah.
But during that first semester, it was like I really felt it. And I didn't think anything about video ever. But that's kind of like where it gets interesting, because that is where Parker comes into play. Again, he comes back and he reaches out to me.
Parker's our ministering angel, man. Like, he really is.
He really is. Parker is such a good guy, and I've always thought he's just so in tune with the Spirit. And whether this was like a spiritual thing or just like he knew his business, he wanted to reach out and just get some help. He reached out to me at a time that I was really struggling, and he said, "Hey, I'm filming a wedding in Salt Lake City, and I need some BTS. Like, can you help me?"
Is this Genesis?
This is Janessa and Chase's.
Wow. He brought a red to that wedding.
I mean, granted, there were a couple of times before that wedding where I had done some stuff with him. I had done like the focus video. Okay. Like,
Focus was after.
was it?
Yeah. Because I was in the picture during the focus video. I just couldn't make it that day.
That's right. That's right. I want to say
It was right after
I
that.
want to say I had
It
done
was that the
stuff.
spring,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
2017.
Yeah, you're right. I want to say I had still done some stuff with Parker, just some small stuff.
When you got off your mission?
Yeah. Because we touched base, and he's like, "Hey, what do you want to do?" sort of thing. And I didn't know. He reached out and he said, "I'm shooting this wedding. I want someone to capture BTS." And I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And that's where it kicks off with Full-Time Filmmaker. So show up to this
It's
wedding.
2016. His course had just come out or wasn't
He
out?
was in the process of
Or
making
did he
it.
a soft launch? Okay.
He hadn't even launched it yet. He was building it.
Yeah.
And I remember going to this wedding, and it's all over YouTube now, and people still
He still gets wedding inquiries.
still
from
gets
that
wedding
wedding.
inquiries from those, and people still recognize that video.
And it's an LDS temple wedding, but he gets inquiries from all over the world because of how beautiful that video is.
And he just captured it so well. So I was privileged to be able to just shadow a master of the craft that day, and I captured the BTS of him. And again, we've been buddies for a long time, so it was super easy, and he trusted me. And then on the way home, this is a pivotal moment in my life. On the way home
from the wedding.
He started talking about full-time filmmaker. And he said, yeah, like I've got this idea. I'm creating an online course called Full-Time Filmmaker. And like I've got like, I think it's going to do well. And if it gets really busy.
Fast forward years later, he's a multimillionaire.
Yeah. So Parker starts telling me about Full-Time Filmmaker. And he said, I have this thing that I'm building called Full-Time Filmmaker. I think I'm going to call it. And if it gets really busy, I'm going to need some help. And that was kind of it. And if we ask Parker now, that was his invitation to me to work for him. Because you know Parker, you know, like he's not like very like, will you work for me starting X day for this amount of money, for this amount of time per week? You know, so it was just kind of like this very vague conversation of like, what are you doing in life? And I told him I'm doing college. And he said, well, I'm doing like this thing in Full-Time Filmmaker. And if it takes off, I think I'm going to need someone to help. It was never kind of like this.
And you're just like, cool, man. Sounds like a cool idea, bro.
Cool, man, cool. And but at one point he was like, I think like if it were to get to that point, like, would you want to like come start doing stuff with me? And I'm an idiot at this point. I'm just a young 20-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm doing college because my parents are paying for my college. And so I'm like, I'm just going to do college.
Who knew what FTF was going to turn into, man?
Right.
Who knew?
Right.
Parker knew.
Parker knew.
Well, not even he knew. He's
I think
admits that.
he had good faith
He
that it
thought
was
it'd
going
be
to work.
good, but
Yeah.
he didn't think it'd be what it became.
I don't think he could have predicted it. So he did offer me the first FTF job to work for him. And looking back, it was absolutely a pivotal moment. And I wouldn't say like I turned it down. I didn't say no. I can't say I rejected Parker because I didn't really understand the offer. And if you ask him, he'll probably be like, no, like we sat down and we said, I love you, Parker.
Yeah, the contract in front of you.
But like, it was just kind of like,
Yeah.
But I really just, even if it was going to be successful, I still kind of wanted to go the college route, just because I felt like it was the right thing to do. And so that was the first thing with Full-Time Filmmaker. And Full-Time Filmmaker turned into what it was.
So it had a great launch.
Yeah, great
that
launch.
winter, right? Was it launched in 20?
It
It wasn't launched in
was-
2016.
Yeah, it was. I remember being in the Facebook group when it had less than 300 members.
It had 60 videos when it
Yeah.
launched.
Yeah, I remember less than 300 members in the group. And it was just like, hey guys, how's everyone doing? It was just like so weird. And then it starts growing weekly. And now it's got like what, 30,000?
30,000.
So yeah, that was my intro to Full-Time Filmmaker. And yeah, you know, a lot of people, I've had people ask me like, do you regret that? Not really.
It's hard to regret
It's hard to regret.
things that eventually led to your current journey.
Right.
You know?
I do look back and I say like, if I would have accepted that, like what would have happened? This wouldn't have happened.
No. You would have had my job.
I would have had your job. I would have had your house. I would have had your life.
It's like, I actually do have regrets.
I
I've
would
had
have
your wife.
money.
You bastard.
No, but like I look back on that, and especially when I got towards the end of my college career and I'm trying to figure out what I was going to do, because through my college career, as you know, like I was in and out with FTF. I was kind of like behind the scenes. I would come on shoots.
Yeah, because your friends at Parker, he'd always use you.
I would be
You were
there.
always available.
Right.
You had nothing going on.
I was a broke college student, nothing going on.
Yeah.
So I was a part of
And
FTF.
you loved it. You were good at it. Like, it was
loved
just
it.
an easy, like, for you, it was definitely an outlet, right?
Right. And in my mind, I'm 2 years in for a computer science degree. I'm an engineer, and that boat has sailed. That ship sailed. I'm not meant to be a videographer. I don't want to do it. I'm going to be an engineer. I'm going to have a 6-figure salary,
Yeah.
full benefits,
Yeah.
live a happy, healthy
Yeah.
life. And if I want to do videography, it'll be something on the side to get a couple
Easy
extra.
cash, yeah.
So, yeah, it was just a creative outlet. So I was kind of involved in FTF, but never officially.
Mm-hmm.
But as it got towards the end of my college career, I started having these signs. I believe it was God saying, hey, like, I think this is where you're supposed to go. give it a shot, see where it turns out. Whether it was something that somebody said, but there was a week where things just kept happening, and I couldn't get away from FTF. There was something.
Oh, so you want to fast forward through 2017, 18, 19, when you and I were
Parts where we
friends?
We'll just skip all that part.
Wow, you're like, yeah, 2016 was great. On to 2021. Let's just fast forward 5 years of your life, bro.
Let's skip everything where we met each other.
No, that's fine. Yeah, so 2021.
No,
that's fine.
let's go
no,
back.
it's
Let's go
whatever.
back.
No,
Let's
it's
go back.
whatever.
No,
I'm clearly
please,
not.
please, Jake,
I'm
go back,
clearly
go
a
back.
side character in this
Go
story.
back.
No, this is fine. This is your story.
2017, we met.
No, it's fine.
Where's my phone?
2021.
Where's my phone? I want to look up our old messages because they were
pull it
so cordial. They were so funny. Because I'm working
It's
with
on
Parker.
Messenger.
Yeah, it's on Messenger. Because what? I knew Parker, and you knew that I knew Parker.
I don't even know why I DM'd you. I think I just saw you were in the Facebook group.
And you're like, hey, man, what's up?
Yeah, Nate and I hate using exclamation points.
Oh, yeah. And all we ever used back then was just exclamation points.
All right, I'll read it.
Do you have it?
It's just July 26, 2017.
This
So
is the first
I
time
just
Jake
got
and I
married in
talked to
May.
each other.
I had learned of Parker in May. And then in June, he hooked me up in the course. So I think I just saw you by association.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say in like my greedy intentions were to try to get in with Parker.
Oh, absolutely.
Through you
You were going
somehow.
to use me. Yeah.
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 Well, like, but it wasn't that.
Yeah.
Because I was still fresh off the mission. I was still a little bit more spiritual. And so I don't think it was fully just like greedy intentions, but it was more like, I got to put myself in this circle.
Right.
I want to be around these people. And so I said, hey, Nate, exclamation mark. I'm very interested in your post about filming the wedding. Can you give me more details? Is it still open? Now I'd be like, this is a biatch. Let me film that wedding for you.
Man, that is crazy.
And then you respond, hey, Jake, exclamation mark. Another member of the FTF community hopped in, and she hired him just recently. Sad face. Thanks for reaching out, though, dude. Keep working hard. All right, man. What is that? Oh. And then I said, all right, man, no prob.
Oh, my
First of all,
gosh.
no prob. I don't even know why I said that. Just trying to help. You as well, my man. It'd be fun to collab sometime. Spelled with one L. I'm in Provo, so if you're ever down here or you ever want to help where you're at, let me know. We could get together. He's like, yeah, it'd be sick, man. I'm in Provo too, going to school, so I'm down anytime. And then me, oh, no way. Yeah, that'd be
hard.
sick. I need more filmmaking buddies. How long have you been taking Parker's course?
Oh, that is hard to listen. It's the keep working hard.
Yeah. And then you give me your number. And then your Instagram was Nate the Wizrad at the time.
Love that tag. Still might bring it back. Nate the Wizrad.
And then I was just trying to connect with you. We had some similar mutual friends.
Oh, those are hard to listen to.
Yeah,
Very hard.
That's painful.
Very hard. So that's our
And
introduction.
then here's the funny part is we're talking about drones and stuff. This is July 2017. And then the next DM in our Facebook messages are August 29th, 2022 about runaway vows. Like just Facebook group stuff. Never DM'd again. Just texted.
Yeah, those are hard to read. Those are hard to listen to as well. That was our introduction.
2017, July.
And then our first introduction, was it shooting your
Because you
homecoming
just
or my
kind of
wedding?
ghosted me.
Yeah, I was cool.
You were too cool.
Yeah, I was freaking cool.
Yeah.
Was it my wedding or was it the homecoming that we shot
Homecoming
first? So then, yeah, you had a missionary homecoming at the Salt Lake Airport. You said, hey, man, like...
Somebody in your friend circle,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, I knew them. And he said, hey, I'm shooting a wedding homecoming. Can you help me second shoot? And I'm like, yeah, sure. Again, college student. I don't care. I don't care about my image. Don't care about what I look like. Don't care about what I'm doing. If you pay me, I'll show up. Yeah. And, yeah, I had a full mustache.
Yeah, I give you $200 to shoot interviews of the family at their house.
I do
'cause I didn't want to
remember
go.
Yeah.
And then to shoot at the airport with me.
Yeah. And I showed up in like an oversized
Looked like an
Indian
absolute homeless person.
Indian T-shirt.
I literally was like, that man's homeless. Oh, that's actually my second shooter.
This is Parker's friend. And yeah, that was our first connection. That was the first
Love
time
at
we shot.
first sight.
Love at first sight. And then the next month, I had a wedding at, I don't remember the ski resort, but it was somewhere up in northern Utah. And I asked you and said, hey, I need a second shooter. Can you bring all your gear? Can we use your gear and shoot the wedding? Oh, yeah, sure thing. And we went and shot the wedding. Terrible.
Something happened that day at the wedding, too. Like, I was on my phone for some reason, giving you updates about something crazy. I don't know. I'll have to find
For
out.
some reason, what I remember about that day is you being vehemently against floral ties. Being like, man, I will never wear a floral tie again.
I had floral ties at my wedding.
You were wearing one that day, and then someone was wearing one, and you're like, I will never wear a floral tie
that.
because they said something to you. They said something to you. They said,
get
did you
triggered.
just get off your mission? They said something like that. And then you're like, I will never wear a floral tie because I just look like a little
missionary,
little-
yeah.
That is what I remember.
I never have since
And you never
either.
have since. Yeah. The floral tie is gone.
Wow. You're like, this kid's so petty.
This kid is.
7 years later, you're like, this kid's so petty.
So that was that experience. It wasn't a great wedding. Bonded over it because it was so terrible.
Yeah.
And on the way back is something we never talk about. We'll talk about it here,
It's so cringy.
and we'll never talk about it again.
Why'd we do that?
The Greatest Showman had just come out, and
movie.
fantastic movie. I still sing the songs. I still love watching it.
Yeah.
And-
we sang it at the top of our lungs together.
In your car, just belting it out in the car.
And I wouldn't do that with my closest friends.
I wouldn't do that with my
And
wife.
we were strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that with anybody.
And we were singing, what are the songs?
Every night I
Yeah.
lie in bed.
And like recording it on our phones. Like,
Yeah. What was wrong with us? Man, that's weird.
I would never do that. That's how you know. Nate and I were destined.
That was just weird. I don't like to even think about that.
That's cringy.
Could you imagine us doing that now?
Oh, I'd like stop the music.
I'd be cringed.
Yeah.
I'd just say, man, get out of my car.
Yeah.
So that's where we started filming weddings together.
I don't even know what happened next after that, though.
I don't either. It was just like, do you remember in that phase, we would go months without seeing each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes a whole semester.
Yeah.
We
We'd
wouldn't
catch
see
up
each
a
other.
semester later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we catch up a semester later. So there was this kind of like gap with you and I. Like FTF was still kind of in the mix.
Which really was healthy for us.
Very healthy. You got in with FTF, which we'll talk about
Yeah.
on your
I got in, like,
story next.
I got in like the end of that summer.
Yeah.
So the beginning of your next semester,
Yeah.
that was my first, I became an intern at FTF.
Yeah, so
And Nick George was working there, Parker's first hire.
George, yeah, I remember that.
He was like the behind the scenes videographer.
Yeah.
And Nick George kind of helped me get that job because Nick George wanted people his age,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And we were just like vibed really well.
Yeah.
And I think Parker, just with the size of FTF, is like, I don't need 2 employees. And so
Mm-hmm.
Nick and I kind of competed for the job.
And you won.
I won.
Yeah. So there's kind of like this period of time where you and I just kind of like didn't talk or work together.
Yeah.
I mean, we would talk and we would occasionally like catch
Yeah,
up,
but we weren't shooting for each other a whole lot.
not really.
Because then I feel like that fall we shot that the DJI video. Yeah. The Ronin had just come out.
Was that or the Joan Soda? We shot. Where did the Joan
yeah,
Soda? The
that
Joan
was- that
Soda
was
things
first,
came
that
in.
was first.
Yeah, the Joan Soda things. You wanted to do a spec commercial for Joan Soda.
Yeah.
I think that was probably like the next time we worked together.
Yeah, it was. We won.
But that was like the next spring after that wedding.
That was the fall because it was freezing cold. It was
the
that
dunes.
fall. I had just got the job with FTF. We did a Jones Soda spec commercial for a video contest in FTF.
So that makes
We
me think.
won.
What that makes me think, was it the next year?
Because you brought your Phantom.
Because that wedding we shot was in winter.
Oh, you're right.
So I think for that next year we were in contact.
Yeah.
But then that next fall we started working together.
That's probably next spring.
Spring, yeah.
Spring, summer.
And,
2018.
Yeah. And so then what, from 20...
Yeah, because in 2018, we made that spec for Jones.
Yeah.
We won. I want to say maybe it was before that wedding even. We
Yeah.
won. We did that video contest because in the next spring, there's another video contest.
Yeah.
And we supposed to do another one with Shay and Landon.
Classic.
And that was fun. And then we also did that Ronin video. It was like parkour. Remember you were running around
remember
Parker's
that.
house?
Yeah.
And I was from behind the scenes. But that was kind of the relationship. It was kind of like, hey, you'd show up for behind the scenes
Yeah.
stuff with Parker. I was there. That was my first time shooting behind the scenes for Parker was that Ronin video.
That's great.
So I was usually his customer service guy.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, we were just kind of like helping each other out here and there.
Then 2018, 2019, 2020, that was when I was decided I wasn't going to be a videographer. I was going to be an iOS mobile app engineer. And it was crazy. I had this peace of mind. Like I knew exactly where I wanted and I knew where videography would fit in if it did fit in at all. And it would just be like to pick up some local LDS weddings for a couple grand a month. And I was set. That was going to be my life goal. And that is when JWF started taking off.
Yeah. So I
2018.
started becoming a little more associated with Parker.
Yeah. JWF started taking off.
And I was just like getting some really gorgeous weddings, and I was posting about it all the time. And I'll talk about that next week, but that's what got me the job with Parker, was how much my business was taking off.
Right.
Yeah.
And so during that time, that's where it kind of just like the stars aligned, because I didn't feel the need to be making wedding videos, but I would happily shoot for you because it was an extra $500 a month. I can make $1,000 or $1,500, and that was great for a college student who didn't even want to do wedding videography. It was a great side gig, and we just kept doing that.
Yeah.
And from your point of view, it was just like you kind of like found a second shooter that you liked, and so we started working together a whole lot. And so naturally, I kind of had my own little wedding video business on the side.
Yeah.
But I didn't really care about it. It's terrible to say, especially in this position that like
But
we're
I mean,
in
like
now.
you were shooting for me twice a month, just like shooting extra $1,000 a month. It's
Right.
As a college kid, that's crazy.
It was absolutely
2 days of work.
It was really good. Yeah.
And none of it was travel yet.
None of it. Yeah, exactly. And so, where we're sitting now, like having a community and education platform, it feels weird to say that like I didn't care about my wedding videography business that much because it wasn't what I wanted to do. So looking back at my old videos, they were just LDS temple weddings, music videos, no audio.
Yeah.
Color was just like, whatever.
Afterthought.
But it got the job done, and that's what the market is here. But then, again, fast forwarding, we just kind of slowly started working together.
Yeah, 2018, we probably hung out a couple times.
Yeah. We would hang out like once
Every time we did, it was always like best friends.
We'd
like,
play
easily.
we Super Mario Bros.
Super Mario Bros. And then it was March of 2019
Yeah.
was Shay's wedding, or Shay's bridals.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Shay and Tanner.
Yeah. And that was your gig.
Yeah. So Shay and Tanner. Shay is really one of my really good friends from high school. Hired me to do her bridals in Oregon. And I was like, hey, I got this really cool gig out in Oregon. You want to come with me? We stayed in an Airbnb basement. We got just a whole bunch of pizza and candy and gross stuff.
Yeah.
But we filmed one of the most beautiful bridals to this day still.
Parker claims our best work.
Yeah. Best work.
2019.
Yeah. So that was Shay and Tanner, 2019.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was just like another gig.
Our first time traveling.
First time traveling.
We had no idea.
No idea. For me, it was just like another gig, cool gig. Great,
Yeah.
But it wasn't anything big. Again, I just kind of like I was just not attached to it at all.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how I spent all of my college career from freshman to pretty much my senior year. Just like a side hustle.
Yeah.
And you and I started working together. I'd have some cool clients. Like I always had really good clients somehow. Like I really did. Loved them. They're always really attractive. Like, great, this is awesome. But senior year, again, now I'm skipping forward.
Well, because 2019 was the year I decided you were my only guy.
Yeah, that was 2019.
I didn't use anybody. Sam sometimes.
Yeah.
But you always. 2019, 2020. It was like a baked into my pricing, me and Teahan.
So that was 2019, 2020. Last year of college, I was decided, software engineer. I got an internship at some medical, it was basically a medical wearable software, and I really loved it. But towards the end of my senior year, where I have to decide what I'm going to do, FTF just came back. Like it just somehow came back into my life.
2020?
2021. Yeah, this is 2021. End of 2020, sorry. Because I graduated spring of 2021. FTF started coming back because it was a big year for FTF, COVID, right? And things that people were saying, Parker reaching out.
Yeah, what were all the stars that aligned? Because I remember you said like a lot of just doors opened and a lot of doors closed at the exact same time.
Yeah, so I was working this internship as a developer, and I was trying to decide, am I going to work here for the next however many years, or am I going to do something else? I was even thinking about taking a sabbatical and I've done college. I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to travel, do all this. And I remember talking to my buddy Bridger, and Bridger is now brother-in-laws with Parker. And we were at lunch with Bridger, and Bridger said like, hey man, like, what are you doing? What are you going to do after college? And I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of at this internship. I could stay here. I really like it. Might still keep doing weddings. I don't know. And he's like, dude, so I talked to Parker, like, do you still think about FTF? It was one of those discussions, like, do you still think about full-time filmmaker? And I said, yeah, like sometimes. But, that's sailed. Ship has sailed. And he said, yeah, well, I just talked to Parker, and at this time, FTF was just killing it, killing it. You guys were making great money.
Crazy busy in 2020.
And he's like, I just talked to Parker, and he said, if Nate were to come to me tomorrow and say, hey, Parker, I'm in, I'll work for you, no questions asked, like, I will give you everything I got, I would hire him right on the spot. And so when Bridger said that to me, that was kind of like, oh my gosh, like, what? Like, Parker's still thinking about that job offer. Like, I still kind of have, a seat at the table. So he first said that to me. And then I want to say, like, Parker and I don't remember the other things, but Parker said something, reached out to me, and then something happened in my internship. And then my wife, my then girlfriend, said something about full-time filmmaker and like courses and things like that. And I'm like, I just want to like give it a shot, because a lot of people just graduate college and they hop into a job and they don't ever take a chance on themselves.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. I was reading a book. It was called Take the Risk by Ben Carson. And it just talked about like times in life where you just have to jump and just take the risk. And there's kind of no better time than when you're the young 20-something.
Yeah, what do you have to lose?
Yeah, you don't have a family, hardly any responsibilities. And I was like, you know what? Before I jump into a job and just all this responsibility and the rest of my life, I'm just going to take a shot. I'm just going to take a jab here, and I'm going to reach out to Parker and say, hey, Parker, I feel like things have been kind of pulling me in this direction lately. I would love to work for Full-Time Filmmaker. And so I gave him a call, and this actually meant a whole lot to me, because I called Parker, and my wife was sitting right there, and he was on speakerphone. I said, hey, Parker, for some reason I've been thinking a lot about 2016, that car ride when you started talking about Full-Time Filmmaker, and looking back, I've learned a lot, and I can't say I regret like not working for Full-Time Filmmaker, because I've grown a lot, I've learned a lot in college, and I'm grateful for the network and connections I've made. But I would really love to work for you, whatever you need. Like, I can fill in whatever position you want. And Parker just said, like, thanks for calling me, Nate. You've always been like such a special person in my life. And I genuinely believe that you are one of the best people that I know at just documenting things, just capturing things. Not even like the most cinematic way, just documenting things with a camera.
The assignment.
Yeah. He just said, you're genuinely one of the people I trust most to just document. And that's a true strength of yours. I'd love to have you. Let's start. When can you start? And I said, well, I graduate in April.
What month was this?
This was in March of 2021. And I said, I graduate in April. I was like, what about in May? And looking back, I wish I would have been like, what about in June? I would have loved a month after college just to, have fun. But I started May 1st, first day. But in Parker fashion, the second we got off that call, he was kind of like delegating some stuff to me just to start doing it. Just kind of warm me up.
Yeah, Parker's like, why not start today? I'm confused.
So I started May 1st, 2021, and worked for FTF that whole last year and a half. And it was really cool because, he didn't give me any special treatment. None at all. Like, you start at the bottom of the barrel. You do customer support. My first week, they switched from Teachable to Kajabi overnight without telling me. And I had to do everything to switch it over pretty much. And I was doing a lot of late nights. And I basically went from customer support to BTS to handling some course edits, some YouTube edits, to then handling some producer roles. And then
within 4 months.
Yeah, it was crazy how fast it moved, all while handling getting married in that time span too. And then the last 6 months of our time at FTF, Parker was just basically like, hey, you and Jake are a team. Yeah. You're Jake's guy.
Yeah.
And it was easy.
You were literally just my guy.
And it was easy because we'd been working together for 2, 3, 4 years. And so we just spent that 6 months just kind of putting our heads down and making some awesome content. And I really can look back and I'm grateful for that time. I feel like a year and a half officially at Full-Time Filmmaker was perfect for me.
Those are some of my favorite 6 months though.
Those were great.
I think it was the catalyst to Runway Vows.
It really was.
Yeah.
But yeah, just being around Parker, you learn a lot.
Oh yeah.
You learn a lot with that guy.
Genius, man.
Just works really hard, really effectively.
Yeah. We don't have that skill that he has. He can wear every hat and kill it in every single
Absolutely.
role.
he would put us to shame. Like, oh, you're struggling with this. I just did this in 10 minutes. It's like,
With 2 kids at the time. Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah,
that leads us to here.
It's an amazing. Looking back at what Parker, just by his example as
Right.
as a boss,
Yeah.
but 2 as a friend.
Right.
Parker was always in your corner.
Yeah.
You know.
Love that guy.
Yeah. He's always somebody who be loyal. And by loyal, it doesn't mean like he validates you for no reason. He won't.
He pushes you.
He will not validate you if you're doing something
Absolutely.
wrong.
Oh,
He
no.
will teach you, show you, and validate the good things. And then if it's good but not your best, he'll let you know.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And that was pivotal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's
an
I
amazing
really
boss.
appreciate it. Didn't give me any special treatment because, like, yeah, I can look back and remember times where I was 8 years old on the sidelines being the little ball boy or handing him a baseball bat. Like, we have pictures going back where I was with them at such a young age. But yeah, he's never easy on you. He pushes you and he realizes that's what helps you. But at the end of the day, yeah, he just has so much love. And it's when we were leaving FTF, we've slightly talked about this before, but with the whole drone thing, there was a miscommunication, and he kind of like wanted the drone back, and I was like, hey man, like we kind of had this miscommunication. I thought it was mine, and I'll never forget. He just sent a text. He's like, hey man, like I love you. I want you to have this drone. If it feels like it's gonna help you guys, take it. It's yours. And he just said, I love you. Like, good for you guys. Do this. I was like, man, he's a great guy, an amazing mentor, amazing friend.
Yeah, he just texted me a few days ago when we launched Through the Lens. He was like, genius idea.
Yeah. So he's still
Validating, yeah.
He's still in our
Keeps
corner.
up,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's just a good dude. But yeah, I'll let you tell the story of kind of like Runaway Vows in your episode.
Yeah. But tell us about last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Like this past year
Yeah.
at Runaway Vows?
Or just leaving FTF. Like what?
Oh, at FTF?
Yeah. Just how that all transpired.
Yeah, that was funny.
Because I kind of talked you into some stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I got talked into a lot of stuff. You'll joke and say like, yeah, we talked you into working for a YouTube channel when you had an engineering job waiting for you. It's like, yeah, I sure did. But as my wife and I were cleaning out things to move to our apartment, I actually came across the FTF Dundee Awards. The Dundies. And I was looking at it. It was hilarious. It was just my award was most likely to get fired in 2022, and I laughed. Because it was true. I did get fired, but like we all did. Everyone got fired. Fired, quit, like however we want to say it. Like it just kind of like all unraveled. So the funny thing is when FTF was all kind of disintegrating, I'd say, I remember getting a call from Parker and a call from Carter after I'd already talked to you because you had just kind of been at the center of this all. And you'll talk about that in years, but I already knew what was happening.
Yeah.
I already knew that FTF was kind of disbanding. And so Parker and Carter hop on the call. And I answer. I was like, hey, guys, what's up? And
Carter was Parker's producer,
Carter
right-hand guy,
was the
manager.
main, the right-hand man at FTF. And hop on the call, and they're just kind of joking around, but they're like, I'm sure you've probably heard what's happening. I'm like, yeah. How are you guys feeling? And they're like, yeah, no, we're pretty good, but like, what have you heard? I'm like, well, like FTF's just kind of like no longer a thing. And he's like, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So here are your choices. Like we still need like customer support. If you want to like kind of slowly fizzle out, you can maybe do that. Like make like $2,000 a month doing it. And I was like, maybe like I'll stick around for another month. It's $2,000 for emails.
Yeah.
And so he's like, or you can just like head out. And I was
Classic.
like,
Parker
again,
fashion, man.
and yeah, in the same fashion of like the initial job offer, it was kind of like it wasn't like you're fired. It was like, well, here's what could happen, but ultimately this is what's going to happen. So for the next month, even after you had left, I kind of like answered emails for FTF. But yeah, it just kind of like fizzled out. Like that's why it's kind of like this weird zone of, did you guys quit or did you get fired? It's like, well, I don't know.
All of us
I
both.
don't know. I think
Parker
I quit,
creates
but I
the
think I got
environment.
fired.
To quit, but he created the environment, so it's like he fired you, but he let you quit.
But yeah, he let it happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of like at the point where I was doing a lot of like producing for the FTF shoots, and FTF had kind of gone in this direction where it was unfamiliar territory for all of us. We brought on Brendan, by the way. We
Yeah.
were doing like actual shoots, like multiple day shoots with DPs,
Filmmaking
and gaffers,
shoots.
filmmaking
For the
shoots.
filmmaking course.
And we actually didn't know how to do that. We were learning so much. But yeah, it was kind of at that point where it just kind of all started to fizzle out, and yeah, it just was like, hey, you can leave or you can stay, but if you do stay, it won't be for much longer. So I'm like, yeah, I'll do it for a month, and then
Yeah.
probably gonna do our own thing. And then that's when
Because that month was my sabbatical.
that was your sabbatical. That's while you were in Italy, and that's while we were stewing on Runaway Vows. And I remember, during this time, it was a very emotional time, and you texted me. I don't think I still have the text, but you texted me. You was like, "Hey man, with where FTF is going, like you already knew you were gonna leave, and you said if you want to stay at FTF, I totally understand. And you said I'll be building things in the background, and they'll be ready for you when you want to come over." And I was like, "That's pretty sick. Like that's wow. I guess we're doing this." And that meant a lot to me too. I was just like, that sounds like what I want to do after this too. So you were on your sabbatical, you were already gone, and you already had this idea of moving on. And I was just kind of in this gray area.
We'll talk about it next week, but I had that call with Parker in March or April. We had just done the video with Peter McKinnon and Sam Newton, all those guys.
Huge video.
And then Parker had a call after, and Parker's smart. He knows when his employees aren't feeling super fulfilled anymore. He just
Right.
can tell.
Yeah.
Because our work slacks and whatever. And it's like, yeah, here's where I'm at, and basically told him I was probably gonna quit one day, and he's like, and I was kind of thinking like, yeah, probably at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then he texted me a few days later. He's like, all right, let's start this. I was like, oh, I guess I'm quitting right
It's
now.
happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all happened really fast.
Yeah.
Really fast.
It did. Because I called you thinking, yeah, probably at the end of the year, I'll probably be leaving.
Yeah.
It's my last year. And then Parker the next week was like, all right, you're done.
Yeah.
We're done.
And again, like it was just, I was in this gray area of like, all right, well, I took my shot. What'd you want me to learn from this?
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to go back into tech.
Yeah.
And then it just moved so fast. There was like, hey, I'm going to be building stuff in the background. I have this idea of like a wedding production company. And I was like, dang, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I don't think this journey's over, so
we are.
let's do it. And so we're doing it now. So that is my story.
Yeah.
That's
it's
how it all
crazy
got
to
started.
think about what we wanted to make last June versus what it is today.
It's ever evolving.
It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's evolved so much in just 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
In 2024, it's going to evolve. We already have
Yeah.
plans for what we think it's going to look like, but it's gonna move quick.
Yeah. What do you feel like the big things you've learned from, specifically, you were only in FTF for a year and a half full time, but what do you feel like was the reasoning for you being there? Because a lot of the doors opened for that opportunity,
Yeah.
and it wasn't
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
last as long as we all thought it would.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I think that, being at FTF for that last year and a half was meant to lead into this. Because if I hadn't done that, I would probably not be filming anything anymore.
Yeah.
And I still do, like, I love filming. And I just would have kind of given that up. And if I wouldn't have worked at FTF, Runaway Vows wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't be doing this. But at FTF, I feel like I learned a lot. Because leaving college, I was burnt out. Like, I spent 5 years working for grades. There's never a payoff for money. There's nothing. It's just like, hey, here's a stamp. Good job.
Yeah.
I worked my butt off to get, again, almost like a 4.0, like in a very challenging degree from a challenging university. And I was just burnt out. And at FTF, like, I didn't have a second to breathe. I just hopped right in, and it was just like we were going all the time. And during that year and a half, I feel like I learned a lot of lessons on what it's actually like to work. And I think I remember very, very, very clearly on that phone call with Parker in my room with my wife right there, when Parker first said, okay, I'll hire you. I remember hanging that up, and I was so insecure about my ability to make money or do anything in life that I looked to my wife and I said, like, all right, it's time. It's time to be successful. I said, it's time. And I was just like so happy because in my mind, I was going to get hired to FTF and I was going to be making, buku bucks, five digits a month and things like this. And so it was kind of a shock when you're like, oh, you're brought on to FTF making like $3,000 a month doing emails. And I was very happy
Yeah.
that looking back that he didn't give me any special treatment. That he wasn't like, oh, Nate, yeah, we'll hire you for base salary $10K a month. You have to work your way up.
Yeah, we all did. Yeah.
And so leaving FTF, I was able to get to those $10,000 months and sometimes a little more. And it was really kind of eye-opening.
Very eye-opening.
It was very eye-opening to see that you can create something. Like if you work hard and if you're focused and you have a goal of where you want to go or who you want to help achieve something, you can make money.
Yeah.
You can be comfortable.
Yeah.
And so I believe that like my time at FTF, if anything else, it was just for some closure.
Yeah.
Because I always would have looked back and said, like, what if I
What
would have
if?
said yes in that car? But if anything, it was just that year and a half of closure
Yeah.
of saying, like, yeah, FTF was
did it.
fun, but I'm grateful I still did college and went the route that I went.
Correct me if I'm wrong too, but I feel like for me, FTF opened my eyes up to video. And Parker always says this, but video is just the medium
Exactly.
that he uses to carry out his goals.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I both, like, we love filming weddings,
Exactly. Yeah.
but we don't want to do that forever.
No.
The goal is to film enough so we don't have to film them anymore, you know? And you guys can hate us for saying that, but this is a job to us.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal, the end goal, is to provide for our families and to give us the
Exactly.
lifestyle we want.
Exactly.
And if it's filming weddings, it's filming weddings. If
Right.
it's not, and I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why we push. That's why, I mean, everyone knows the reason we have educational things is to take your money. But like that's why we do it. It's a very genuine. We want to provide for our families, and we want the lifestyle. Secondly, which is being with our families.
Right.
And filming weddings takes away from that second goal. But we need that to film the weddings to create the content that sells to provide for our families. So it's just
Exactly.
it's a circle that I learned from Parker. Is that you can trade your time for money every single weekend and say you're worth this much an hour, or you can spend what we did this year creating a product that we could sell hopefully for a long time.
Exactly. Yeah. And definitely.
But I wouldn't have had that mindset without Parker.
Exactly. And another mindset that I wouldn't have had without Parker and FTF is we try to teach this to other people, but instead of being just a wedding videographer who is just creative and doing it to connect with couples and make an artsy feed, you need to be a businessman or a businesswoman whose medium is video.
Yeah. You're
And
an
that's-
entrepreneur who uses video
Exactly.
for your business.
You're an entrepreneur who's skilled at video work.
And the artist will say it's an art, and like two things can be true at once.
Two things. Yeah, exactly.
But I think if you don't, I can always tell in our coaching calls with other people, the people who are artists first and entrepreneurs second, usually it takes them a lot longer to find success than the entrepreneurs who are, I'm going to be a business person first, who uses art
Yeah.
to
And
make my business look beautiful.
And it's not saying that you can't be an artist,
Correct.
but I feel like it's more far and few in between of true artists that make a great money. But then there's the argument of like, well, they're fulfilled. It's like, yeah, but at some point, like we need to pay to live our lives.
Well, that's what we learned from FTF. And I told this to Parker when I quit. I said like, it's not the money. I thought it was going to be. I'm being paid very well. I work with my best friends. I have an amazing, very lenient boss who gives me a lot of freedom. I'm able to do a lot of cool things and buy a lot of cool things, and I'm not fulfilled. And so I think we each have to ask yourselves, well, what fulfills you? And it wasn't all that for me. And I've learned this last year working with you. It's owning something. That brings me fulfillment.
Building something.
It's building something on my own. In this case, together. But like I own it.
Yeah.
And having fulfillment in that, and helping people.
Yeah.
And knowing that it's all on us.
Yeah.
That's fulfilling to me.
Yeah, and that's
more than I thought it would be.
It's very fulfilling just building something.
And that's where, and I'll talk about it next week, but that's where me and Parker's, I think all of my
Clashes,
we never really clashed, but misunderstandings or frustrations with the job came from is when I wanted it to be mine and it wasn't, and that's been completely removed the last 18 months.
Yeah. No, 100%. And yeah, 18 months with Runaway Vows, that's the mindset we try to have, is just being businessmen whose creative outlet is, whose medium is video.
Yeah.
And something I wish I could just tell every wedding videographer is that it's not a sin to have commercial clients.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Grow, learn.
You got to grow.
We learned so much those last 6 months at FTF because we were doing Hollywood sets, or
Yeah.
I say it loosely. We were trying to replicate Hollywood sets, commercials. Like we're really trying to become a production company more than just like a bunch of YouTubers who had a camera.
And I think wedding videos, though, they teach you a lot. They teach you multicam, they teach you audio, they teach you glide cam, handheld, like client management. They teach you a lot.
But corporate work is a college for me.
It is.
It's the college of filmmaking.
It is. Yeah. So I wish that like every wedding videographer who gets discouraged about their down season or their dead season where they don't have any bookings, I wish they knew that it wouldn't be a sin. It's not shameful in any way to have a commercial client.
Yeah.
Most of our mentors who are really successful, they have clients. Yeah. Adam Grumbo, again, to bring back
Adam Grumbo, Russell Ken,
Russell
31
Kent.
Films. Yeah.
They all have commercial clients. And a lot of times we just think, oh, well, Jake and Nate don't have slow seasons, or Russell Kent, Will Sarmiento, Emma, they don't have slow seasons. So I'm doing something wrong. And they're telling me I need to be doing these things, and I am. So I just must not be talented. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Yeah. But there's nothing wrong with having commercial clients, like a side business. Be a business.
At the end of the day, we're professional documenters, so why not do an event?
Exactly.
Like an actual event. You know?
Be an entrepreneur, be a businessman, be a businesswoman who specializes in video. And I think that is what FTF really taught me. That's what Parker taught me.
Parker did it all.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you tell 2017 Nate? 2016 Nate?
Say yes in the car.
Take Jake's house.
Make Jake obsolete. 2017 Nate, man, I would just say, in a weird way, like, just be more secure. Yeah. Like, people are gonna make money. People are gonna be posting about their highlights on their life. Like, you have your own things going. Things play out for the better. Just kind of like put your head down. And I would say hard work is a little bit overrated. I would say what's better is having like a clear goal.
Yeah.
Right. Clarity. And for a long time, I was just split between so many things. I'm doing this. I'm going to do this. In college, I started an acai bowl company, and I didn't do anything with that.
Taken off.
Maybe we'll someday.
Dessert, actually, we'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, we'll keep it a secret.
Gatekeep it.
NDA. But I was just so split for so long, just scatterbrained. And it hasn't been until like this last 2 years where I have more clarity, where you start to see more growth. And even if you aren't making as much money as this person, or you're accomplishing what they are, I can still look back and say, like, I am owning this. I'm doing really good with this. I need to work on this. But 2017 Nate was just really insecure, really scatterbrained. I would say just try to pick a goal and go in that direction. Yeah. Stop trying to work 100% in a million different directions. Yeah. Just pick maybe 2 or 3, maybe hopefully 1, but if not 2 or 3.
Yeah,
that's what I would tell myself.
It's good advice. You've had a crazy journey.
Yeah, I'm a scatterbrain.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I've mellowed out though. I was really crazy when I met you. I was like that Red Bull video showing up on your. That was it.
Bro, Nate got me onto Red Bulls. Nate was like, he would have like a couple in his hand a day.
But that video you have of me just showing up to your door, just like that was an accurate representation of how my life was, just everywhere, just chaos.
Nate was a mess.
I was.
I'd say Kayla has helped that.
Kayla has been a rock.
I think any partner really helps you reevaluate yourself.
Yeah.
Because you want to be your best self for Kayla.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think you have become your best self.
Yeah.
Not that you weren't your best self.
No,
I'm not trying to devalue the Nate I met. Like, you know what I mean? Like those core Nate principles have always been constant.
Right.
In fact, we always say in our friend group chat with Sam and Dallin that Nate's like the best of us. He's the guy that we all want to be like. And you've always been that way ever since I've known you, and that's why you're my only friend. But like, I think still Kayla has helped refine that in you.
Yeah.
I think and having jobs too, you know, having failure, steps back, steps forward. That I don't know. I think we don't talk enough about that.
Yeah.
And even you and I feel like this last year our business has changed so much, and we're not like apologetic about it.
No.
It's like, yeah, we taught that last year. We don't do that now.
Sorry.
We disagree with that.
Yeah.
That's outdated.
Yeah.
We've evolved. We grow. We move.
Yeah. We're
know?
still trying to learn how to just say no.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, like that wasn't it. Like
Yeah.
maybe we said that.
And it worked that month.
It worked that month,
Yeah.
but we're evolving.
Yeah.
That's what's fun about Runaway Vows is we're teaching as we're learning,
Yeah.
as we're going.
Yeah, Tennyson Stanley damned us. He's one of our coaching call regulars. Good kid, been to both of our workshops. I wish I had the screenshot on hand, but he said he chose a really nice DM that almost made me cry. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. I'll find it. Hold. Stay with me.
What was that?
That was from Datley. Another. I have so many screenshots on my phone this month. I'm just like I've been crying at them. Anyway, I'll find it. I have so many screenshots of people who have made me cry this month. But Tennyson just said, "Hey, something I love that I respect about you guys is that you're what you just said, that you're teaching what you're learning, not what you did."
Yeah.
Because I think that the toxic trait in the educational industry, and I've probably been a part of this, is that you say, "Oh, this works. This is what works.
Right.
Do it." But when people now talk to me, it's very, yeah, that could work.
Yeah.
There's also 1,000 other ways that might work.
Well, you open up every coaching call with, "Hey, by the way, we're also
Big disclaimer.
huge disclaimer. We're also hopping on coaching calls with our mentors. Like
Yeah.
we're still learning, and that's what we want everyone to know is that like we're still trying to
I
learn.
don't care who you are.
You still need to be learning.
Yeah.
You know.
And I learned from last month. It was a very humbling month. I was watching our attendees at a workshop who they would say, and some said that they want to be like us, and I disagree. I was watching them, learning from them, and saying, wow, that's an interesting way to do that.
Yeah.
Earth and Sun Co.
Yeah.
You know what
First person I thought.
Like, I
of
just
was
like you see these posts. I'm like, yeah, I learned from that. Alexander Kim. I learned from these people. I'm like, no, like we are no better than anybody. We're trying to be as humble as we can by saying that we don't know what we don't know, and we know that we don't know everything yet.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the goal.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what Nate Teahan 2025 is like.
It's gonna be crazy. I joke about it, but it's totally serious. I have no idea what to do with Nate Teahan film.
It's just in the water.
It's just sitting there.
Because Nate Teahan's popping off as like a fitness influencer.
Yeah, like I
Instagram
just
account.
started posting stuff just for kicks and
Nate put a
giggles.
fitness thing on his TikTok and it has like 1 million views.
Yeah, so like that's been just going, but like it's not. It's just I film what I do, and it's been just for fun. But Nate Teahan film is just kind of sitting there dead in the water.
Yeah.
And if people scroll, 14 posts down, they'll see some old LDS videos, and they're like, "Hang on, this guy's teaching a luxury."
Yeah, we gotta figure out what to do with the Nate Teahan film.
I gotta just like delete everything and post like a real estate video. Hey guys, I'm doing real estate now.
Don't do that. Maybe we do like a chocolate review channel.
Genuinely,
We
I've
actually
thought
should.
about-
Short Stash gave you the advice that we should do Short Stash advice.
We should
make a
just-
sexy bread channel.
Dude, I'm dead serious. When I got that chocolate,
Hold on.
I thought I should film an unwrapping.
You
of
should.
that.
Nate Teahan needs with a K.
Nate Teahan needs.
Needs.
Jake, that's
Nate's
brilliant.
needs.
That's a little hard to say.
Needing Nate.
Jake, you genius.
Royalties. Needing Nate.
That's brilliant.
It's actually great.
That's great.
Just sexy
Needing
thirst
Nate.
strip, bro. We're gonna put Caleb. We're gonna put Nate in a tight white t-shirt, the bear status, paint some tattoos on you, and just have you knead bread. ASMR thirst trap videos.
Dude, I would
slapping
love
the
to.
dough.
I would.
Yeah, you
Man.
bad dough.
Man, you bad dough. Needing Nate. That's pretty.
Needing Nate.
That was off the dome.
I got crazy ideas off the dome.
Man, that's not bad, Jacob.
Let it marinate.
Yeah, it will. Yeah, but no, I'm excited. Like Runaway Vows has been, it's been great. Like this is. We just got off the phone call last night. Just super excited about just next year.
Very excited about 2024.
It's crazy talking about 2025 too, because we already have like plans for
We have
2025.
exclusively for 2025 that
Yeah.
we're going to spend all 2024 making.
Right. So, yeah, I'm excited. I love where I'm at right now. I feel like I've come to peace with, even if it is a low income month,
Yeah.
which every entrepreneur experiences, it's like I'm at peace because
We have our vision.
we have our vision, good family life, good health, like just focusing on things that really matter. And
Yeah.
everything's going to work out.
Yeah, it is.
So that's Nate Teahan's arc,
Yeah.
the villain arc.
Yeah. Well, I love you, man.
I love you.
It's been a crazy few years.
This has been a wild.
Glad I
couple
met you
years.
in 2017.
Yeah, good old crazy Nate.
What was I going to say? Yeah, if you guys have any questions for Nate you want answered, DM him at Teahan Film. He'll probably respond once a month.
It kind of looks like Nate Teahan film.
yeah.
I thought it was cute
Yeah,
It's
people
not.
think his last name's Teahan.
because last two letters of Nate and first two of Teahan are Te. So I was like, oh,
It's Nate Teahan.
Nate Teahan.
Whenever someone asks, like, is it
Nate-
Teahan or Teahan? And I always tell them Teahan just to
But
give,
it's Teahan.
just to
Yeah.
troll. But,
Teahan without the D.
but yeah, shoot him a DM if you have any questions about his story. Nate's he's a loyal friend in our group, and we have some good times.
Yeah, we
He's
do.
a weird guy.
Yeah.
He's a closet nerd.
Yeah, if you're ever in the area and you want a loaf of bread, just hit me up.
He'll do it.
But yeah, that's let's close her out.
That's it. That's it. I don't know how to close these. All right.
But yeah, we'll it's been crazy talking about this. Next week we're talking about Jake's story,
Yeah.
which I
Dive
will
into it.
just put in the little disclaimer is it always gets brought up. It always does. And it's fun for me to see it every time because it's always the exact same story.
Nate's heard this story so many times. I can't. Yeah, next week it's just gonna be Nate's gonna be sitting there like
No,
just like repeating my words, like
No,
mouthing them as
I'm-
I say them.
I'm excited because I'll ask questions. I'm going to try to get some different info out of
Yeah,
you.
please. I'm so sick of this story. So,
But
we'll tell
yeah,
it.
excited to talk about your story
Yeah,
next week. But
let's do
yeah,
it.
this has been fun.
All right.
So we will see you chefs next week.